Hey guys, it's Crusher, and I want to talk about something that not a lot of people have talked about before, and it's actually your build's win condition. How your build specifically wins a fight. How you can build a build around a certain object or thing that will propel it way better than most builds. And very simple examples of this. High damage builds, right? There's like Silent Heart gun builds, Silent Heart revolver builds. They'll get like 80 willpower, Heretic Sutra. They'll get like 45 intelligence. They'll get all these damage multipliers. And then they'll go as high as they can, and then they'll get like 6 proficiency. And that is their win condition. It's how much damage they output. And that's for a lot of builds. Because a lot of builds, or a lot of people don't really know how to build things around other win conditions, right? So I'll give another simple one. Health, right? People go 90 fortitude post shrine. They'll get reinforced armor, 55 charisma, survivability, all that. They'll uncap their thing. They'll get like 80. And this, I'm not showing you guys actual builds. I'm just like explaining it while giving you visualizations. They'll get orbital ice, bunch of resistance, bunch of health, and their goal is to out-sustain you. They want to fight you, and they want to be able to resist your attacks as much as they can. So that's another way. Here's another way that a lot of people don't usually use, would be sanity, right? No life king, intelligence. That's another win condition. You get the insanity pots, no life king transfers, go like a light weapon so you can transfer it more, parry trade, hit them, throw the pot, their head pops. That's a win condition. Their boss raid builds, their win condition is healing. So probably Shadow with, usually boss raid builds are also sustain builds, but have more damage options than 1v1 sustain builds. So you'd go Shadow, you'd get high intelligence, maybe you get willpower so they can't heal. Oh yeah, then there is all the Dead God builds, which usually their win condition is not letting you heal. Like not letting you regain your health while they can. So you can mix and match these win conditions, but if you do a pure win condition, it's usually better than the other. So like you can do a high damage, high sustain build, but it's not going to be as high damage as a singular high damage build. And this is all just like I'm not like actually showing any real builds. This is like for theoretical purposes. Another thing I've seen is armor win condition builds. And there's 2 types. There is armor stripping, and then there is pen. Pen, you get million ton piercer. You get a bunch of stuff, right? Million ton piercer, get a high pen weapon. All that. You can just melt through the resistances. And then usually with that, people will go high damage, right? And then another version of this is, let's say you go 40 medium weapon, you get champion sword. Put metal on the champion sword. 80 iron sing scrap singer. That will melt armor. Your win condition is once their armor is none, you like melt them like butter. It's actually ridiculous. And so if you can write down as many of these as you can think of, you can mix and match and make a build for everyone and see what works the best. And that's how a lot of people build metas. Well, isn't how a lot of people just make builds, but that is how you can create a meta abiding build. And then same with oaths. Let's say you go contractor, your win condition, you can base it around your counter. So you can base it around damage from, let's say you go shadow contractor, you have eclipse kick. Then you can base your damage around, or you can base your win condition around eclipse kick, right? So if you think in your head, if I land eclipse kick, I win, then you can build your stats around hitting as much damage as you can on that eclipse kick. Same with prediction builds. Go 80 prediction. You don't need as much damage on your weapons because you're just reflecting back, so you might want to go sustain on a prediction build. There are builds where your win condition is simply not getting hit. And I know that sounds like kind of stupid, but not getting hit as in like a lightning cloak, vision shaper with their clones, just a bunch of crowd control, getting people away from you. That could be a win condition. There's zoners, rushdowns, can mix and match all this, find your win conditions, find the type of your build, and you want to play that way. I know everybody has their own playstyle. If your playstyle is very rushy, like you like rushing, you're not very passive, you just want to go in and fight, I would not suggest making a passive build. But if you don't know your playstyle and you make a passive build, don't play rushy. Does that make sense? I believe it does. Makes sense to me. Let's see, what else? There are combo builds, Gale Breath, that your win condition would be landing an M1 or getting rid of all their vent. If your win condition is getting rid of all their vent, there's like Lightning Stream with Thunder Call. You Lightning Stream from close, they'll always vent it. There's Contractor, that's another way to get rid of vent. Solar Enchant, Collapse Lung. Those are all good ways. Those are all good. They're win conditions, right? All of these things will make it so you have an advantage over your opponent. And it's not just M1 parry, M1 parry. So if you can figure out what your win condition is, you want to exploit it. You want to be able to abuse it as much as you can, right? So maybe you are your sustain build, but your flame, you put a Bloodless on all of your mantras, you get your Wisp, and you go Shrine of Chance till you get all health cards that you can. That's a way you can abuse the sustain. And that way, let's say somebody like isn't approaching you, pop your Flame Wisp, don't approach them, just wait. Genuinely just wait. Get your health up, and when they approach you, then they approach you. But if you can take advantage of the moment, then you need to take advantage of it. And I can show this with way more examples. There are builds where the whole idea is to confuse the opponent, like to obscure their vision. So fists, black armor, big hat, shadow, what's it called? The Shadow Wisp. All that's their win condition. Their win condition is you not being able to react to their moves because you can't see them. And then with that, you could also get maybe Dawnwalker. Those moves are hard to react to. They cause a lot of particles. Then you could get like Shadow with Obscuring Vision. It's a lot of things you can play around with that will let you win. So you need to think about that when you're making the build. What in this build will make me win? And does it exploit that win condition enough? If you make a build and you're like, yeah, it's supposed to be tanky, but it's not really that tanky, don't make the build. Simple as that. If you're supposed to make a build that does a lot of damage and you check the damage and it doesn't do a lot of damage and it doesn't have a lot of health and it doesn't exploit anything in certain, then don't make that build. Make the build something different. Thank you for watching. See ya.